what is that smell? I am definitely getting a hint of a deal. Oh wait, it's more than a hint. Yeah, these are the best deals, and not just this season, but all year long. In all seriousness, the smartest shoppers know that you get the brands you love with the most savings and cash back with Rakuten. And I know I'm certainly interested in sniffing out those deals. Start getting cash back at your favorite stores like Urban Outfitters, Petco, even Expedia, and getting cash back doesn't mean you have to miss out on sales because those can be stacked right on top. It's easy to use and based on a simple idea. Stores pay Rakuten for sending them shoppers, and Rakuten shares the money with you as cashback through PayPal or check. Smells like a perfect deal to me. Download the free Rakuten app and never miss a deal. Or go to Rakuten.com to start getting the most bang for your buck. That's Rakuten.
We're so done with New Year, New You. This year, it's more you on Bumble. More of you shamelessly sending playlists, especially that one filled with show tunes. More of you finding Geminis because you know you always like them. More of you dating with intention because you know what you want. And you know what? We love that for you. Someone else will too. Be more you this year and find them on Bumble.
In 2005, two brothers hit the road to fight monsters. That road has led them to fighting demons, angels, and saving the world.
It's a journey that is taking them to heaven, hell, and back. But they aren't done.
Join our journey as we go episode by episode, following the adventures of Sam and Dean Winchester. We break each episode down with the writers, producers, directors, crew, and actors to bring you the behind-the-scenes stories of how this legendary TV series was made. That guy right there, that's Rob Benedict. He played God and Chuck Shirley.
Hey, and that guy there, that's Richard Spade Jr. He played Gabriel, Loki, and the Trickster. And P.S., he directed a bunch of episodes, too.
Now, while we are insiders, we're also outsiders, because we're not experts. This is our first time watching the entire series, all 327 episodes.
Rich and I have met many of the fans at conventions around the world, and we are deepening our understanding of why you all love this series so much. Because it's really good.
Yeah, it is. Now, listen. There will be spoilers, so consider yourself warned.
And thank you for joining us on this trip we call Supernatural Then and Now. Hello, everybody. I am Rob Benedict.
I'm Richard Spate Jr.
And it is the season finale of Season 6, The Man Who Knew Too Much.
And you know who that man is?
Me.
Not me.
Not you, right.
So yeah,
right.
It might be you.
Yeah, right.
It's not me.
There should be an episode with you called The Man Who Knew a lot of things, but not pertaining to this episode.
Correct. It could be The Man Who Phoned It In would be a great title.
That should be the name of your book. You know who we don't thank enough? Our subscribers on Apple.
I was going to say again, me, this guy, but I guess also them.
No, we want you to know that we appreciate you supporting the podcast. With a click of a button on your iPhone, you can support the podcast for $4 a month and get early access, ad-free episodes, and bonus content.
Sure can, Rob.
Bet you didn't know that, man who phoned it in.
I didn't. I was busy on the phone. Well, you know what?
Yeah.
Since you've got your finger on the button, literally, why don't you do the thing that you do really well? While I fiddle with my phone, you can summarize the episode.
Exactly. Yeah, here we are, episode 22. It's been season 6.
It's been a slog.
It's been a slog, but we're finally we're through. But it's been a slog, but I have to say there have been some fantastic moments and episodes, and we'll get to that when we do our season 6 wrap-up episode, I'm sure.
Yeah, and by the way, I want to make an announcement without even checking with Steve Hine. Trey and Steve are voting this year. None of this BS of taking a knee and leaving Rob and Rich hanging out to dry. Everybody's in on this. Booty, I'm talking to you.
Talking to you, Booty.
So just prepare yourselves, gentlemen.
All right. Well, here we go. Sam is on the run from the police, but he doesn't know why.
Why?
He doesn't even know his own name.
Wait, what's his name, though?
I don't know. He finds his way into a bar to hide out. There he meets...
By the way, of course he does.
Of course he does, yeah.
Quick, there's all these buildings. I'll go into this.
This bar where there happens to be a really hot bartender.
Yeah.
That's the other thing about this show. It's always a hot bartender.
And here's the one thing I'll say, too. If you it's Jared Padalecki as Sam. You know, runway model looks of Jared Padalecki as Sam Winchester running into that bar with the cops following him.
Yeah.
Woo, woo. Lights out there. And he's going, we're closed. No one's in here. I'm a woman by myself closing up a bar. Sir, you've got to go. I can't. I got to hang out in here. Hand on a bat she has. Yeah. Because she's no shrinking violet.
Right.
And he's like, just give me a minute. And here come the cops, the red and blue lights, illuminating the dark bar where there's nobody there to help her out.
Yeah.
He's 6'4". He's a physical threat.
Yeah.
She takes one look at that mug and says, okay.
You can stay.
I'll give you a second.
You can stay.
If you swap that out for me or Rob, she takes that bat and beats us to a fucking pulp.
Yeah.
While dialing 911 and flagging down the cops.
Yeah.
Like, we'd be in there like, I just need one meh. And we wouldn't get out before she would be swinging that thing at our face.
She kills us. Roll credits.
It had perks being Padalecki in this scenario.
Yeah, well, I would even say the first quarter of this episode is a cautionary tale for don't let your daughters ever do this. She gets into the car with
you're
him.
Like, sir, you seem like you should go to the hospital, or I'll just ride around town with you in a car.
No, we'll drive to a different town to look for some other dude named Bobby and stop the car and get out of the car and leave her there alone. I mean, all these things. Anyway. She takes pity on him and his amnesia. And while he's in the bar, he sees a book by H.P. Lovecraft. Because, you always have there's always a good Lovecraft book in your favorite bar.
Usually when I go to a bar, drinking and alcohol and socializing, that's our secondary. I'm usually looking for a good read.
Yeah.
Right.
So pieces of recent memories start to come back to him. He doesn't want to go to the hospital. He feels a need to stop something. One of the memories that comes back to him is the Night Owl Motel. Robin insists on driving him there.
Like any hot bartender would.
Exactly. They get to the motel. It's a really seedy, there are prostitutes out front. It's a seedy motel.
Rob's probably around the corner.
It's a 1 hour motel. It's one of those. Again, Robin, leave. This is not good for you.
No.
Once at the motel, Robin is unsettled by Sam's easily picking a lock.
I love that that's the thing that bumps for her. Finally.
Yeah. Once they're in the room, she sees his fake IDs, and the walls are covered in newspaper clippings a la serial killer.
Yeah.
And evidence of Sam hunting monsters and investigating deaths and disappearances. Robin, leave. Call an Uber.
Get out of there.
Sam sees a clipping about a missing woman named Eleanor Visiak. Suddenly, a distinct memory comes back to him. He remembers that he, Bobby, and Dean found Eleanor in an alley with her stomach bleeding. She tells them that she was kidnapped by Crowley and Castiel, who both tortured her until she revealed how to open a gate to purgatory.
Bummer.
They need to use the blood of a virgin and the blood of a purgatory native, which is Eleanor, during tomorrow's lunar eclipse. She dies, bye-bye Eleanor, before she can tell the hunters Crowley and Castiel's location. Castiel appears, and he tells the brothers and Bobby to back off. He knows what he's doing. Dean refuses.
Back off.
Castiel touches Sam's head, releasing the memories of hell, and tells him he will save Sam when everything is over. I mean, Castiel is kind of the bad guy. I did not expect that coming.
Kinda.
Yeah.
He's a real turd.
Back in the present, Sam now remembers his name and finds Bobby's address. He grabs car keys and recognizes the Impala and heads out with Robin to Bobby's place. Meanwhile, it's revealed that Sam is actually passed out in Bobby's panic room. Balthazar appears and gives them the location of Crowley's secret hideout. Dean and Bobby head there and leave a note for Sam and a gun.
Right.
Meanwhile, Sam is still on the adventure in his head and is confronted by a doppelganger of himself. There's this whole thing where Dean shines a light in his eyes in real life, and then in the dream world, it's all of a sudden daytime.
Yeah, it's by the way, with some super cool
Dude, there are some great shots in this.
No, dude, I mean, I, as soon as the teaser started, and it looked like it was shot some on 16 millimeter and digital, and it looked just like mixed media here.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, we're in for a treat. And of course,
who directed? Phil?
Robert Singer. It's Robert Singer.
Oh, Bob. Yeah. I was like, this is one of the good ones. The way they did, I would love to talk to Bob about it. The way that they did the doppelganger stuff, like, I don't think I've seen it done that well. It was really, really well done.
And that's early days, buddy. That was not like you couldn't just roll cameras and fix it later.
I know that.
Those are well thought out shots.
There's a shot in the woods where bad Sam is hiding behind a tree, and then good Sam crosses by.
Yeah.
That was such a cool shot.
There's that. There's also the This is not a doppelganger shot, but when Sam was on the bed and it's kind of the camera's sideways, he's freaking out on the bed and the camera kind of rotates around. There's just some great shots.
Great shots.
It was so well shot, the whole episode. And all those transitions, like bright lights into Sam's eyes, now it's the other guy.
Yeah.
They're in one room doing one thing and then it translates to another.
Yes, right.
So well done.
So Sam's on this adventure in his head. He's confronted by a doppelganger of himself. Guess who it is? My favorite person of the season, Soulless Sam.
Did you write down Mr. and Mrs. Soulless Sam Benedict in your dumb notebook?
I did. No, in my desk with a carving knife. So Soulless Sam wants to kill regular Sam to be the predominant personality in the body.
And marry Rob and live happily ever after.
Oh, man.
That's what Rob's thinking.
I mean, yeah, of course. It's really... however, regular Sam wins. As he dies, Soulless Sam warns Sam about an even worse Sam.
That's a lot of Sams in that sentence. I'm glad Soulless Sam warned Sam about an even worse Sam while having a sandwich.
Well, it's a good thing that Pileggi wasn't in the episode with a doppelganger of his character.
Could have been Soulless Sam and Samuel warned Sam and Samuel about an even worse Sam and worse Samuel while having sandwiches. So
Sam remembers that Robin is...
and maybe a samosa. At Sanford, the college that sounds like Stanford, but isn't.
So when the Sam, Soulless Sam, and our Sam, then he kills him, and then they kind of become one person.
So now then, Soulless Sam and regular Sam are smashed into a sandwich of being the same Sam.
Yeah, but there's a serious Sam that's having a sandwich back at this apartment. Sam remembers that Robin is actually one of his victims, an innocent person he shot to get the upper hand on a demon.
Yeah.
That's when we remember that Soulless Sam had no soul. And we feel better about this whole thing about Robin leaving her bar. She was just an imagination. Sam, still in his head, goes to Bobby's house and meets Hell Sam.
Hell Sammy. Well, Hell Sammy. I don't think there's a Hell Sam.
Hell Sam.
It's like Hellboy, only taller.
Right. Who has memories of being tortured in Lucifer's cage.
By the way, Jared, I just want to pause and say, Jared had a lot to do in this episode and crushed it every step of the way.
Absolutely.
Like, especially when he got to like all these different versions of himself. You really got to see what Soulless Sam was, as we all recall, and normal Sam, if you will, sensitive Sam, whatever.
Yep.
And you're like, oh, wow, they're dramatically different characters. Well played by Jared. But then this Hell Sam, we've never really seen before.
Right.
And it was awesome, from the makeup to the lighting that Bob did, to just the great acting by Jared. It was a great sequence between Jared acting with himself. And as actors, we can tell you that is not easy. You're basically acting to nothing and then turn around and play the other character and act to nothing.
Right. Or you're acting to a guy that kind of looks like you wearing a wig that looks like your hair.
Right. So it's a really great job by Jared Padalecki doing some really intricate stuff.
MVP of the episode for sure.
Yeah.
Really well done. So Hell Sam warns him that the memories are too much for Sam. Sam believes that this is the only way to wake up and help Bobby and Dean. He kills Hell Sam, thus absorbing the memories. Sam's body convulses in the real world. Meanwhile...
That's what I'm talking about. That sequence is awesome.
Awesome. Meanwhile, Castiel tells Balthazar that someone has revealed their location to Dean.
Now, here's what I have a question for. This is where I got lost. After Balthazar shows up to Bobby and Dean and gives the address, right?
Right.
And he's like, I'm not sticking my neck out any further for you. That whole thing.
Yeah.
Why does he go see Castiel? Was that always part of the plan?
I think that the relationship that they have is Castiel can summon him, and he's there.
Right, but why did he summon him? Did he get summoned? Like, it felt like he just arrived there, but...
I think Castiel summons Balthazar because he knows that what he did.
Something's up.
He knows what he did. He knows everything. Castiel knows it was Balthazar and stabs him in the back with an angel blade, coldly watching him die.
Yeah, that was a bummer.
Big bummer. I'm hoping that's not the end of Balthazar. So yeah, he knows it was him, and he basically what's one of those Scorsese movies where he summons him for a special meeting and kisses him on the lips. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I knows you, Fredo.
Yeah. Dean and Bobby arrive at Crowley's secret headquarters. The place is heavily guarded by angels. Inside, Castiel is preparing for the ritual. Crowley, who was double-crossed by Castiel in this episode, appears with his new partner.
I am very clean-shaven.
He appears with his new partner, Raphael. Now, why does Raphael...
Are you not freaked out by how clean-shaven Crowley is?
Yeah, that was weird.
I kind of feel like in later seasons he's got a scruff to him.
Definitely.
He is baby-faced.
He's baby-faced. You just want to pinch those cute little cheeks, which he would hate me for saying.
Luckily, he doesn't listen to this podcast.
Exactly. Why does Raphael keep changing bodies?
I think this is the same Raphael we saw before.
Okay. But what happened to the first Raphael?
I can't remember.
To what's his name?
To Damore Barnes.
Our friend Damore, yes.
I thought they zapped that meat suitcase. I thought they zapped that guy.
Oh, did they?
I thought that Damore Barnes.
I think you're right. It was
there
explained.
was a scene or something where I'm
right.
forgetting it, but I think he got zapped.
Yeah. Well, Crowley, who was double-crossed by Castiel, appears with his new partner, Raphael. They force Castiel to give them the blood. Crowley attempts the ritual, but nothing happens. They realize that Castiel pulled a switcheroo and gave them fake blood.
Now, where did Castiel get the blood he was supposed to have given them?
From a virgin.
Right, but do we ever see that, or does this happen
no,
and we don't see it?
They've got it. Castiel performed the ritual and absorbed all the souls in purgatory. Castiel flexes his new power, and Crowley makes his exit. However, Raphael is unable to retreat. With a snap of his fingers, Castiel makes Raphael explode into 1,000 gross pieces. Heaven's civil war is solved. Wow, just killing 2 angels just in one episode. Boom, boom.
Yeah, exactly. As an archangel, I don't like it.
Yeah, well, as God, I don't love hearing him say, I'm God. No, you're not. Dean and Bobby watch with fear in their eyes. Dean tries to convince Castiel to give up the power now that Raphael has been defeated. They were once family and can begin again. Castiel says he has no family. Suddenly, Sam arrives.
I have no family.
Out of breath. I don't know how Sam got there, but he's limping and out of breath. I can only assume he ran?
No, they show his car. Wait, no, that's Dean.
Yeah, Dean and Bobby get flipped in the car really badly when the souls all arrive.
Great sequence, by the way.
Great
That's
sequence.
so cool.
Also
all that
really well
black
done.
smoke.
Yep. But then,
really cool.
then Sam arrives, sort of limps into frame like he was running. Anyway, maybe he Ubered.
Oh, yeah. How does he get there?
Maybe he Ubered.
No, this is before Uber.
I know, sir. That's why it was a joke.
But it could be a cab. I mean, you're not wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But anyway, Sam arrives. He tries to stab Castiel in the back with an angel blade, but it has no
That doesn't go well.
It has no effect. Nothing happens. Castiel says it won't work on him, and they should all kneel before him, their new god. End of season. Wow.
Well, before we go any further, I know we're going to talk a little more, but it should be under the umbrella of the segment I call Rob and Rich. Ratings.
Well. I thought it was a good season finale. I thought it was
If this plane was headed down, Bob Singer and Eric Kripke, the writer and director respectively of this episode, with Sam, Jared Padalecki at the helm as an actor, grabbed the stick and just pulled it right up.
Oh, it was written by Kripke?
Kripke and
Yeah.
Bob Singer directed, and Misha playing Dark Castiel was awesome, and Sam playing multiple versions of himself was awesome. And yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a really well written episode.
And the stuff that I was watching going, yeah, right, this is jumping the shark. I'm not loving this. All actually paid off, meaning like once we found out she was a vision, her actions made sense.
Exactly. And all of it was well, like you said, I can only echo what you just said. It was really well directed. I mean, some of the shots, because you've had to shoot this before, but some of the shots of the doppelganger Sam are really hard to do. You obviously can't split Jared Padalecki to 2 people. So
there's enough Jared to do that actually, but
there is.
It's frowned upon.
It was so well done. There's a shot in the woods where evil Sam is behind a tree, and the other Sam goes on the other side of the tree, and we follow him, track him. It's really well done. I don't even know how they did that. And yeah, everybody was really good. MVP for Sam, for Jared, and really.
I think MVP for Jared with the honorable MVP mention for Bob Singer. I mean, they both just delivered on a high level.
Yeah, Bob, incredibly directed by one of the best directors, maybe the number one director of the show. And
certainly he directed the most episodes and was around for the whole run of the show as a co-showrunner and executive producer. So man knows his stuff.
He's a secret ingredient of the success of Supernatural. And so hard to see some of our favorite angels go.
Yeah.
At the end of Balthazar.
We didn't see Balthazar's wings.
Yeah, I
Just
agree.
saying.
Maybe he's still around.
We don't know.
But I am really surprised if people often ask us, like, what's different than you thought it was going to be? I never, ever expected Castiel took an evil turn. Like, maybe for an episode, but for in the...
Yeah, now we're going into season 7, and we know that Castiel's really mean.
Yeah.
And thinks he's God, has a God complex.
Yeah, and I couldn't help but think, as someone who turns bad... in the show, everybody's mad at me. Everybody's like, "Oh, I'm so mad at you. You're such a jerk." But no one's mad at Misha.
No, you can't be mad at Misha.
Well, look at what he did. He killed. Killed
you know,
Balthazar.
Did he?
Killed Balthazar. He told the boys, "I have no family." How did he get redeemed? Yeah, I stumped you.
I don't know. I just feel like Castiel, Misha, those are one of those guys. You just want to give a pass. You just want to okay, you're trying to ruin humanity.
I hear what you're saying. It's personal. It's more that people don't like.
It's one of those things where I don't know how to answer this. Because I feel like I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't.
Well, I'm damned too. Anyway, I just loved it. I thought it was so great. A good way to end the season. I'm ready to give it a beard rating.
All right, Rob Benedict giving the final beard rating of season 6. Here goes Robbie B dropping the beard. Robbie?
This whole season we've had a lot of stinkers, and we haven't. I don't feel like we've had a lot of like perfect beards.
Nope.
And so on the heels of that, I would like to say that I felt like this episode redeemed the season, and I'm ready to give it the Kenny Loggins, the late 70 Loggins and Messina Loggins.
So I'll just take a moment here. Maybe turn on Danny's song and think about Rob's beard choice.
Danny's
People
song.
Smile, say that I have the lucky one. I just begun. Robert,
Richard,
right behind you, following suit. And by the way, with great relief.
Yeah.
After some of the episodes of this season.
Yeah.
I can say that it ended on a very strong note across the board. Solid script, really well written, jumping back and forth in time in a way that was confusing but also intriguing. Incredible direction by Bob Singer. The transitions were unbelievable. Unbelievable multi-character performances by Jared Padalecki, where he also had to play against himself, which is so hard. Playing different versions of himself, all distinctly carved out in his performance. Really well done. And then, of course, Misha Collins going dark as Castiel, so solidly, so well done.
Yeah.
So ominous and creepy. I just thought it was just a outstanding episode to, close the door on season 6 with. And for that reason, and many more, I am granting in beard form this episode a Christopher Stapleton.
Wow. You've granted?
Circa national anthem at the Super Bowl, Stapleton. Like a really good... badass, full Stapleton.
Wow.
Congratulations, episode 22, season 6.
You did it.
You did it, man. And not a lot of, when you go to the break room and you get the keys to the executive washroom, you'll see not a lot of people in there washing their hands from season 6.
No, you did it. And you gave us one of the best episodes, perhaps, of the whole series. We have to, French Mistake is in there.
Yeah, but and again, just to circle back, there haven't been a lot of episodes where it was a Sam Winchester tour de force, where they let Jared just kind of go. And they did in this one, and it was smart, and he crushed it.
Yeah. No, it was actually a good season for Jared's character, I think. He had so much to do. We had Soulless Sam at the beginning, and he really did kill it. The whole season. Good job, everybody. And now we'd like to celebrate by having one of our favorite people come in.
If we couldn't have wine on the podcast, this is the next best thing.
Exactly. To help us wrap up season 6, we have our good friend Sebastian Roche joining us. You've seen him in a ton of stuff, such as The Man in the High Castle, The Originals, Fringe.
And if you've seen him at a convention, you've also seen him in a very tight t-shirt.
Tight t-shirts and the hit comedy series Kings of Con. We love him, of course, as Balthazar in Supernatural. He currently stars in 1923 alongside Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren. Season 2 is coming out soon. And here's our conversation with our buddy Sebastian.
Well, let's dive right in, Robert.
Yeah, it's good to see you guys.
You too, man.
Likewise.
So we're watching the show for the first time. So I really had no idea of any of, especially this season. And so this is it for you, just this season. I was just told that by our producer. You don't come back after this season?
Yes, I know. I was attacked by Misha Collins. What a coward! A cowardly attack.
Yeah.
As usual, so he could get more of the money, and I basically ended up being unemployed after that.
Yeah, I remember hearing that was his pitch in the writer's room. Let me get rid of Sebastian. I'm kidding. You're a big impact player this season, though, man. Like you are. You're as always really good in the show and as the character. But then you have some epic episodes. Obviously, first and foremost being French Mistake, which is like one of the most revered. And I know that's not necessarily, it didn't center around your character, but you're pivotal into the story getting launched. You know what I mean? It's a cool episode to be a part of.
It was amazing because when I watched it afterwards, I was like, this is one of the most brilliant things I've ever seen on TV.
Yeah, so clever. So I think I know this answer, but did you know when you started as Balthazar, you'd be doing more than one episode?
No, actually, Misha, who told me, I remember we were shooting in that room when I appeared, with the cocktail in my hand.
Yeah.
And, I thought they said it might be recurring, but you never know. Sometimes they lure you into a series saying, it's a guest star, possibly recurring.
Yeah.
We've all heard that. And, it's funny because from day one, I felt so easy. I was like, I wish, I'm just hoping this can go on. And Misha was like, yeah, you're definitely going to come back, and prepare yourself for the fandom, And I was like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And I had no idea about, conventions or fandoms or up to now, I've been working forever, but this really started that incredible adventure of the supernatural traveling troupe.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because it's so funny watching you guys. I'm like, holy shit, we never worked together, but which is so strange.
Yeah, I know.
Well, it's been strange kind of going back and having these very good friends, of which you are one.
Yeah.
And going, oh, there they are on the show. Because we know you from life.
You do, yes.
From
you know what I mean?
You sure do.
Yeah, and
but not from the show.
Yeah, and I knew you were Balthazar, but I don't think I'd ever watched an episode you were in until just now watching the season.
I watched some of you guys' episodes, you bastards.
Good. Well, don't complain now. Now we've done it.
Yeah. No, it was.
And I was really, for one, I don't want to pick apart your performance too much, but I was a little disappointed that you weren't wearing the Baby Gap V-neck T-shirts that I came to be so fond of.
But you know what? Actually, I have a story. About my wardrobe. I came into wardrobe wearing my stuff, and she was like, we want all that. Can we keep the T-shirt? Can we keep... So basically, what I'm wearing on the series is pretty much what I was wearing, except the jacket, because I was like, no, I'm not lending you my jacket, because I love that jacket. But I was wearing, that V-neck.
Yeah,
you were.
When you first discovered Balthazar, it was pretty much me. It was V-neck, V-neck Seb.
There you go, V-neck Seb.
As you can see, he still continues being...
You're not going to wear out the buttonholes on any shirts because they barely get any use.
That's what I was going to say is like how much was on the page for Balthazar and how much was you. I mean, obviously you bring your sexy accent and you're doing the extra version of really of you.
Yeah, the bon vivant.
Yeah.
Bon vivant. Bon vivant.
Bon vivant.
Oui, bon vivant.
Yeah, I mean, everything was written on the page. Ben, what was my first episode? I can't remember who wrote it.
I think it was Ben. Edlund.
Because Ben was the French Mistake.
Right.
The first one I came in was, I can't remember, with Misha. Anyway, I can't remember who the writer was, but everything was on the page. I didn't really improv that much. I would just improv, certain... sounds and attitudes, but apart from that, it was really, really, really well written, and especially, I mean, there's one episode I really, really like. You were talking about which episode you really like. I really love the unsinking of the Titanic. Besides the French Mistake, it's kind of an iconic episode for me.
Super clever.
Yeah,
I mean, just because he hated Celine Dion. He hated the song.
It was super clever, man. I love
so
that
brilliant. And everyone going, what's the Titanic? What are you talking about? That was a real feast for me. And it's funny because I went from doing Fringe. While I was doing Fringe, I auditioned for Supernatural, I remember. And I'd already auditioned for Crowley, for Lucifer, for so many characters, and I was like,
"Oh, did you really?"
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Like I should have gotten Crowley. I would have gotten more episodes out of it.
Were you close? Did you were like, "Oh, you're pinned. You might get this." Like, did you get close to any of those?
So basically, when my manager told me go audition for Supernatural, and I was like, and it was on the other side of the bridge, and I was at the Sutton Place Hotel as usual, and I was like, it's miles away. I don't have a car. There was no Uber then, it was technological nightmare right now. So, I'm not going to go. They've seen me enough. I'm not going to go. And then my manager was like, you got to go. And eventually I was like, okay, I'll go. And Robert Singer was in the room.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, he was directing. Oh, wait. Did he direct your first episode?
He did, yeah. So Robert Singer was there and I didn't know who he was.
Wow.
And he was really cool, actually. I was reading with this very good actress And the scene went really well. It was like, as we say in French, comme une lettre à la poste, like a letter in the post. Might be the same in English. And it happened very quickly. I got the offer while I was still doing Fringe. So I think I stayed on. I was shooting Fringe and Supernatural, the end of my stint on Fringe and Supernatural at the same time. And then I basically was a Vancouverite for, a couple of years, from Fringe to the end of Supernatural.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And didn't you also do Vampire Diaries in there?
Yeah, so then I think I was still doing Supernatural, that I auditioned for the Vampire Diaries, for the role of Klaus, actually, the one who became, Joseph Morgan. But they weren't sure if they wanted someone young or if they wanted someone older. So I auditioned for Klaus.
What'd they go with? Younger or older?
They went younger. Because then I played Klaus's father.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Even though I was 15 years older.
Gotcha.
One of my sons is literally 10 years younger.
The magic of TV.
Yeah, my character, Michelson, started very young.
Huh.
There were Vikings in the year 1000.
Sure.
Was there ever a Christmas episode where they made him up to be Santa Claus? Was that ever?
No,
they should have. They missed the trick.
No, he wouldn't have done it. He's very dramatic,
Why, he had a no Santa Claus in his contract?
Oh, Rich is reaching.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Sebastian.
Dad joke era.
Yeah.
No. I've always been in my dad joke era. I just happen to now have children.
This is Mark Shepard, and you're listening to Supernatural Then and Now. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a little hell to raise.
Hey, everybody. Richard Speight Jr. here with a question for you. Are you ready to optimize your nutrition this year? I bet you are. Good news. Factor has chef-made gourmet meals that make eating well easy. They're dietitian approved and ready to heat and eat in 2 minutes. What? Yeah, you heard me right. 2 minutes. So you can fuel right and feel great no matter what life throws at you. And you're not going to be slaving away in the kitchen either, because Factor arrives fresh and fully prepared. It is perfect for an active, busy lifestyle. Still trying to shed some of that holiday weight? Oh, I got good news for you. Lose up to 8 pounds in 8 weeks with Factor Keto Meals. Based on a randomized, controlled clinical trial with Factor Keto. Results will vary based on diet and exercise. There's 40 options across 8 dietary preferences on the menu each week. Holy smokes, it is super easy to pick meals tailored to your goals. Choose from categories like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, or Keto. Factor can help you feel your best all day long with wholesome smoothies, breakfast, grab-and-go snacks, and other add-ons. You can reach your goals this year with ingredients you can trust and convenience that can't be beat. Dude, I'm not good in the kitchen. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's not my thing. So the fact that they come prepared and all I got to do is heat and then eat, I can heat and eat. So this is perfect for me. And I'm eating healthy. If I wasn't eating Factor, I'd be eating a bunch of crap. Not now. I got great ingredients that are good for me and taste delicious. So eat smart with Factor. Get started at factormeals.com/SPNTAN50 off and use code SPNTAN50 off to get 50% off your first box. Eat smart with Factor. Get started at factormeals.com/SPNTAN50 off and use code SPNTAN50 off to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's code SPNTAN50 off at factormeals.com/SPNTAN50 off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box.
As a podcast network, our first priority has always been audio and the stories we're able to share with you. But at Realm, we also sell some pretty cool merch, and organizing that was made both possible and easy with Shopify. When you think about successful businesses like Aloe or Allbirds or Skims, an often overlooked secret is the business behind the business that makes selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. That's because nobody does selling better than Shopify. It's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret that's definitely worth talking about is that Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%. That's more happy customers and way more sales going. If you're hoping to grow your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
We're back. Thanks.
So Balthazar is a unique angel in that he has no problem using free will.
Yeah.
I always got the feeling that he was like just coming from like a nice dinner party.
Yeah, I think he was a bacchanalian. It was, I think debauchery was his middle name.
Yeah.
But, in a sort of, exactly as you said, bon vivant way, he would always sit the best claret, the best wines, the best cognac,
right,
in the company of numerous ladies of the night, probably.
Yeah.
Or as we like to call them, gulls.
Oh my God, that still to this day makes me laugh. Wanderings in Italy and many other countries.
Yes, Priali. So now listen, they gave you some pretty great dialogue, some pretty snappy stuff to say.
Amazing.
Was there anything that I guess it's a double-edged question here. Is there anyone that stands out to you, or is there anyone that the fans have sort of glommed onto as like, oh, that's so Balthazar when you said blah, blah, blah?
Yeah, I mean, most of the time I would appear with a glass in my hand. But I think there's there was the one, No, You're in Love with the guy with a dirty trench coat. I think there's that. I think he had, amazing repartee.
Yeah.
I loved it when I shoved the boys in The French Mistake when, I can't remember what he says because I'm terrible at remembering dialogue that I did. But he was like, is that true? And I love the flippancy that I would literally throw their own dialogue in their faces. Yes, you idiot. I love that side of Balthazar. This sort of, are you an absolute moron? Yes, that's exactly what I said. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, there was a worldliness to your character. Now, obviously, any archangel can go anywhere at any time. But even so, I know he's not an archangel, but he's an angel.
Yeah.
But Balthazar had like a very wise energy. And, behind the whole party boy thing was a very intelligent person or angel.
Yes, I mean, that's why they cast the actor in the role, of course.
I never thought of that.
No, I think, I think what I brought, sometimes roles fit you perfectly. And I guess that was, it was the case with Crowley. It didn't fit me. Lucifer didn't fit me, even though I play these kind of characters, I've played these kind of characters forever, but I guess Balthazar, that time. I mean, I wish I'd gone on, when you said, when I was killed, I was really, truly sad to leave the series. But the role fit me, I felt, at the time, like a glove. It was really kind of kismet. And I think that's what Robert Singer saw right away. Because I remember when we read, my first reading was okay, but not great. And then he gave me a note. And that sort of, sometimes you get a note and you're like, eureka. And then the scene was perfect. I think I went more into sort of debonair, debauched Balthazar, and something clicked, and I was like, I get the character right away.
Right.
Yeah, it is tailor-made for you. It almost feels like it was written for you.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, dude. I mean,
it was tailor-made. I mean, it's like you guys.
Hand, meat, glove kind of role.
Yeah, well, I was just thinking like there's something about me that they're like, oh yeah, this guy would, because at the beginning of the show, I, drink a lot and I'm a hermit. Like, oh yeah, this guy hides in corners and drinks whiskey.
Which is how they found you in the audition room.
Exactly.
It's like,
so you appeared in 6 episodes this season.
Let's name them, Robert.
The Third Man, Appointment in Samara, The French Mistake, My Heart Will Go On, Let It Bleed, and The Man Who Knew Too Much. So which would you say is your favorite?
My favorite in terms of cinematic inventiveness, etc., is The French Mistake, because I mean, it was just utterly brilliant. I love the sort of showing the other side of our business was utterly brilliantly done. But for me personally, I think the My Heart Will Go On was really a lot of fun because of the subject matter. But also, I really love The Man Who Knew Too Much. Yeah. I mean, of course, there was my death in there, but it was really fun to shoot too with the boys, and Jared was doing his "I'm going to fart just before action" gigs, and But we just had a lot of fun because I'd gotten to know the crew and all the actors, and it was really
just in time to die.
Exactly. And then when I read that I was dying, and I thought to myself, I'm going to come back. This show is.
Yeah, I was like, I thought for sure you'll come back.
I was told for sure, he's an angel.
Yeah, we did not know until literally moments ago, or when we watched the episode.
At the beginning of this podcast, we were like, this.
We thought you came back.
No, never came back. I was like, I was hinting at a few people here and there from time to time.
I thought maybe it was because you were working too much. You just weren't available.
Part of your problem is you're too busy. No. You got to stop that.
Yeah. I mean, no, I don't think it was that. I think that I don't know, because your characters came back. You thought, I remember all your characters came back, and I was hoping, that they would bring everyone back for the last episode. That would have been really.
Yeah. When we would have.
They were trying to, but then COVID.
Yeah, because of COVID, they couldn't, yeah.
Well, it's interesting that the killing that Castiel kills you, and you guys were friends. Castiel and Balthazar are friends.
Yes, I know.
So it's interesting that he goes bad.
Yeah.
It's also interesting that Misha Collins is the one who pitched not having you back on the show, and yet you guys are friends.
It really worked.
It's so weird.
It worked for how many seasons? 15?
Yeah.
15, yeah.
15, yeah. Wow. And you went back too, Rich. I mean, you directed quite a few episodes too. How many did you direct?
I did, yeah. I directed 11.
Wow, that's awesome.
Isn't that amazing?
Wow, fantastic.
Yeah.
Did you work with Rich, Rob?
Never as an actor, but he directed me in a couple of episodes.
Oh yeah, so
Yeah. We never acted together.
Yeah. In season 15, he directed 2 episodes I did in season 15. Not like I worked literally one day in both episodes, so that was a bummer. I would like to have done more, but but we got to be on set together.
And was it when I met you guys, that's when you started being really close friends, or were you already?
No, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Which was right around this time of this season, because I'm looking, this aired in 2011, your last episode, and that's right around the time that we all went to Rome, and became buddies, all of us.
Yeah.
Right.
Rome was the catalyst, I think. Yeah.
For sure, it was.
And how would you describe, back to Balthazar, how would you describe Balthazar's relationship with Sam and Dean?
Yeah, that's a contentious one. Well, I mean, it's not contentious. I think it's a bit the same. I think, is it the same as me, as Castiel's relationship? It's a bit slightly different. He's not as
well. They don't kill you,
exactly.
So
they don't kill me. Well, they do require my help. So I think a relationship had started developing.
Yeah,
and maybe my character would have been too much of an antagonist to Misha's character. There were too many maybe antagonists,
right? Even
though Castiel is an antagonist protagonist. Yeah, I mean, my relationship was one of like, okay, I'll help you guys, because deep inside, I think Balthazar was good. I don't think he was an evil character per se at all.
Yeah.
He's just one of these people who's conflicted, probably is drinking too much because of his the conflicts. Let's go into the therapy of Balthazar.
Yeah.
But he wanted to help these two, and he did, and at first, not so sure. I think he was tentative.
Yeah.
And ended up being an ally.
Yeah.
Different kind of ally, as many characters in Supernatural, you never know if they're allies one day or not enemies, but frenemies the next day.
I think definitely by the end of it, you were fond of them. You helped, you went out of your way to help them, give them the address and all that.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I'm going. Yeah, this is great. I'm going to be in Vancouver with many years to come.
I know.
Boom, you're gone.
I know.
I'll be here forever.
I remember going to see the writers, because my manager had organized the writers to see, where my character could go. And they were like, yeah, exciting.
Wow.
You're dead.
Wow.
Maybe I should.
It could go.
Maybe there'll be
a reboot someday and bring you back.
Yeah. New boots.
There could be a reboot. It'd be hilarious to have like a Supernatural 15 years later.
Yeah.
They could totally do it too.
Oh, totally.
I totally see it happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would not be surprised. You never know.
I just have it, we just all need to have a few facelifts.
Exactly. I was going to say, Rich, this is going to be a scene where Rich wheels me in.
I'll stay in the dark. Hey, by the way, speaking of like things that might happen in the future, you currently right now in your present and future have some shows that are coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us about this 1923, which is, by the way, you're in a Taylor Sheridan show. So that's awesome. That's been an amazing adventure, since 2022. Yeah, that's been amazing. Yeah, I mean, we shot season 1 in 22 and beginning of 23, and then this year. I mean, this year's been crazy because I also did this other series for Netflix for 6 months in Mexico City,
called The Gringo Hunters.
Yeah.
Where 98% of my dialogue is in Spanish.
Oh.
Because I speak Spanish, so they used, I did the audition literally in Spanish with Ali, doing, helping me for the audition phonetically in Spanish. It was hilarious.
Oh, is she fluent in Spanish too?
No, she's not at all. But I told her how to pronounce everything. And then I was in France at the time visiting my mom. Ali was in LA, and she recorded the audition. She still has it. It's hilarious. So
we were telling Steve Hine that you, among other admirable qualities, are, at least in my friend group, the only polyglot I know.
Yeah, it's true. Do you remember Italy? Yeah. It's been unbelievably helpful, because in 1923 I play a father called Father Renaud, who's a French Jesuit priest who is a sociopathic, psychopathic priest. We can pretty much say that after seeing season 1. And season 2 is coming out, on February 23rd on Paramount Plus. So the premiere, is next week.
Amazing.
And that was an amazing adventure. Season 2, Taylor Sheridan is one of those rare showrunners. He came to me after season 1, when we were at the premiere. He said, next year, you're going to get a lot of stuff. And, he's one of those showrunners who actually does what he says. He walks the walk and talks the talk. And he gave me such an amazing journey in season 2. And I think season 2 is really the season of journeys, going to a sort of an acme and ending into an extraordinary conclusion for every single character in the series. And that experience was amazing. I was on horseback, with guns and
That's awesome.
I'm not going to spoil too much, but
don't spoil it. But there's a lot of you to watch in this upcoming season we get.
Where did you shoot it?
In Austin. And do you remember I visited the convention. I surprised the fans.
Right.
And I was shooting in Austin, which I really, really enjoyed. That's a really cool city. I'd been before, but I'd only stayed near that 6th Street area. And this time I managed to discover the city with its beautiful lakes and rivers and shooting in the wilderness was just so amazing,
Wow.
And they shot everything in blocks.
Uh-huh.
So I was shooting every day for a month and a half, which was amazing. It's more fun. You really get into the character. You can really relax.
Yeah, man, you get in a roll, exactly. In a groove.
So that was really, really exceptional for me. And what he wrote for me, not only psychologically, but emotionally was really, really, really super rewarding.
Oh, great.
So that was great.
And then tell us about Gringo Hunters. When does that start?
So that's going to be shown on Netflix in June.
Mm-hmm.
That also was an amazing adventure. It was, imagine Ron Howard, Ryan Grazer, and then the Mexican side. So it's the people who did Narcos, Narcos.
Cool.
So I play in it a pastor.
Wow, that's hilarious.
Yeah, but I play this American pastor who basically has been in Mexico for 30 years and speaks perfect Spanish and helps the poor in one of the poorest neighborhoods in Tijuana, which is called Cartolandia. But we shot the majority of it in Mexico City, which is, I won't lie, one of the greatest cities I've been to. It is truly extraordinary, that city. Not in terms of food and culture, it's unparalleled. It's on the same level as Paris, I think, and Rome.
Wow.
And the people are just so wonderful. And it was great, because I speak Spanish. I had to change my accent from a Spanish accent to a Mexican accent. So I was more like, hola, ¿qué onda? ¿Cómo estás? Without doing the Spanish accent. So it was really, really, it was such a great experience. And amazing crews, amazing actors. All the actors were on Narcos, and had worked with Iñárritu and Alfonso Cuarón, and the crews as well, So that was an amazing adventure.
Wow.
And I was shooting in Mexico City in literally one of the worst, basically the biggest garbage dump in Mexico, because I'm supposed to be in this very poor neighborhood. It's called Bordo de Sochaca, where people actually live the dump, but everyone there was so kind and welcoming, and it was a really incredible experience,
That's awesome. Well, listen, if you're a Sebastian Roche fan and you're listening to this podcast because you love Sebastian Roche on Supernatural and Balthazar, which he's great as Balthazar.
Thank you, guys.
Now you get more Roche to love.
A lot of Roche.
Taylor Sheridan's 1923. Season 1, which is already out, people can watch, and then they can be caught up to begin watching season 2, which features you all over the place.
February 23rd.
And then Gringo Hunters. And as 2 gringos, I can say we're in.
We're not quite hunters, but we are gringos.
Yeah. And 1923 season 2 is amazing.
Taylor Sheridan, man.
Plugging my shows.
Where does Taylor Sheridan get the time? It's insane. He's got so many shows.
We should do a fundraiser for him so he can keep up the work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now he's got Landman, and I just don't even know how he has the time to write all these.
Linus, Mayor of Kingstown. Yeah. Now he's got The Madison, which is the new show with Michelle Pfeiffer. And he gets all these amazing actors. You know, it's staggering.
Yeah.
It's extraordinary. Yeah, he writes the scripts, and then you get the script and no changes will be made. It's your first draft will remain your draft.
Wow.
So it's great because it's really wonderful as an actor. You know how it is sometimes when you fall in love with certain dialogue and then it's taken away from you. That never happens.
Well, speaking of taken away, Balthazar taken away too soon, but Sebastian with us forever. We loved watching you on the show. You're so fun.
Yeah, man, you did great job. I mean, it's so fun to watch our friends just crush it, and you're crushing it, and you're great on the show.
And we're so pleased that you joined us on this podcast. It's a dream come true.
I'm so pleased. It's great to see your faces too, guys. I miss you.
I miss you too, man.
Love you guys.
You too. All right, Seb,
all right,
thank you.
Thanks so much.
Hey there, it's Misha Collins. If you're like me, you want a break from the sound of Richard Spate's voice, we'll be right back after this.
I'm someone who loves to have a variety of products in my makeup bag for when I want to be a bit more creative, but on a day-to-day basis, I'm really just reaching for a few staples. When I'm relying on only a few products, I want those to be my holy grails. So I turn to Thrive Cosmetics, whose beauty products are certified 100% vegan and cruelty-free, made with clean, skin-loving ingredients, and have thousands of 5-star reviews. So whether you're like me and want a few high-quality staples, or you're looking to stock up your makeup bag for a full glam, Thrive Cosmetics is the way to go. One product I love from them is the Brilliant Eye Brightener. I've already got it in a couple shades, and I've just seen they have a new gold one that I might need to snag too. I love a product that can have multiple uses, and the Brilliant Eye Brightener is just that. I use it as eyeshadow and highlighter, and it's such an easy way to elevate my everyday look. Plus, for every product sold, Thrive Cosmetics makes a donation towards 8 major causes, including those impacted by cancer, domestic abuse, and veteran and education organizations. I love knowing that a purchase I was going to make anyway is also benefiting causes that matter to me. Thrive Cosmetics is luxury beauty that gives back. Right now, you can get an exclusive 20% off your first order at thrivecosmetics.com/thrive. That's Thrive Cosmetics, CAUSEMETICS.com/thrive for 20% off your first order.
Imagine what's possible when learning doesn't get in the way of life. At Capella University, our game-changing FlexPath learning format lets you set your own deadlines so you can learn at a time and pace that works for you. It's an education you can tailor to your schedule. That means you don't have to put your life on hold to pursue your professional goals. Instead, enjoy learning your way and earn your degree without missing a beat. A different future is closer than you think with Capella University. Learn more at capella.edu.
Thank you for supporting Supernatural then and now. And now, back to the show.
He literally is a bon vivant himself. What do you call it?
Bon vivant?
Yeah, but he was saying that who's the wine god?
Right. Bacchanalia.
Bacchanalia. He's a bacchanalian figure.
Yeah, Bacchanalian for sure. And perfect role for him.
And apparently he's go-to man for international priests.
Yeah, well, for languages too. If you want to see him also playing another role that's perfectly and tailor-made for him, watch Kings of Khan, a series that Richard and I wrote and all of us starred in.
On Amazon Prime, you can watch Kings of Khan, and he is hilarious. So Sebastian's great.
Well, now I would like you to let us know what the next segment is.
I'll do that right now, Rob. Why? Because it's what I do. I say, mythology, 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 mythology.
Doppelgangers. Don't forget the umlaut.
That's Doppelgangers, the band, and their first album, Don't Forget the Umlaut. We'll be dropping tracks from this LP. A lot of people think Rob Benedict and I are doppelgangers. Plenty of times we've been places and they're like, I loved you in Loudon Swain, and to which I say, I'm not in Loudon Swain.
And people say to me, I loved you in the movie Driven, to which I say, thank you so much.
Doppelgangers. Currently, the term is typically used to describe two strangers that look alike. That's why Rob and I don't really fit that, because we're not strangers. However, the German history of the word is something far more supernatural. The literal meaning is double walker.
Double walker.
Historically, a doppelganger is often portrayed by a ghostly or paranormal phenomenon. Rob?
What?
You're supposed to say, dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. A ghostly phenomenon, and usually seen as a harbinger of bad luck. Other traditions and stories equate a doppelganger with an evil twin, much like you would have seen on Knight Rider.
And that's where you and I are alive. That's where you're my evil twin.
Yes, there we go.
Where were we the other day? We got out of a car and someone was like, "Oh my God, you look like the same person." Oh, when we were golfing with Mike.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and we're wearing the same outfit because we're at a golf course, as well.
So I was like, "Oh my God, you look like brothers or same person."
We're not brothers. That's a fact, but it's not nearly as fun as fun facts. Fun facts. Fun facts. Fun facts.
The title, of course, comes from the Alfred Hitchcock thriller "The Man Who Knew Too Much." He made the film twice. Once in 1934 and again in 1956.
What?
That I didn't know.
I didn't know that.
He must have made it when he was starting out, and then he redid it with somebody famous. Who's in? I don't know who's in.
I don't know. This is you stumped the band here.
Jimmy Stewart. I think I said that. I said Jimmy. I wonder if it's Jimmy Stewart. There you go.
Wait, which one was that? Which version was he in?
56, the one that we would all know.
Who's the 34 one? But that's a trip. But Hitchcock made the movie twice. That's crazy.
Well, I mean, it might be like, Memento. They made Memento and then they remade Memento.
I didn't know they made Memento.
Well, Memento was a short film.
Ah, okay. Got it.
That those brothers made.
Oh, the Nolan boys.
Brothers.
Okay, got it.
Exactly.
Got it.
And then Chris made it into a movie. I don't know. It could be something like that. I don't know.
You're not wrong. Could be.
In the beginning, when Sam was trapped in his mind and running from police, he passes a sign for Castle Storage. Castle Storage is where John Winchester kept his storage unit. Art director John Marcinek said he used a number of neon signs recycled from past seasons.
Well, that's good. That's very eco-friendly,
It is. And an interesting sort of Easter egg, like, ooh.
Crowley is the first big bad, which is a term they use for like bad guy of the season. The first big bad to survive more than one season.
Oh, interesting.
Lucky son of a bitch.
That's because Castiel kind of surpassed him in the big bad department.
Yeah, he became a bigger bad.
When Sam is looking for clues to his past, he makes it to the Night Owl Inn. This is the name of the motel the boys stayed in the episode Live Free or Twihard.
Oh, nice. Awesome. Dude, there's a lot of music in this episode. Sure. Very expensive episode.
Yeah.
As I'm hearing needle drops from like the Rolling Stones, I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah. Speaking of rock icons.
Exactly. The following rock icons are listed on Sam's fake IDs. Jimmy Page of Led Zeppelin, Angus Young of AC/DC, and Neil Peart of Rush. A Canadian. Homage to the country Supernatural was shot in.
That's right. Balthazar is the name of one of the three wise men that visited baby Jesus after his birth.
I did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
Another little fun fact, the woman, the bartender, who follows him half the journey there.
Yeah.
She's played by Erica Serra.
Okay.
Erica Serra was also in an episode I directed years later. She returned to Supernatural to play an angel. Not playing the same character, playing a different character.
Have we met her?
She did a convention that I was in England.
Okay.
I was somewhere with her at a convention, but I don't recall you being there, honest Rob.
No, I don't think I was at that either, but the name Erica Serra.
She's really talented actress, works all the time, and she is great in this episode. And then I cast her in another episode of Supernatural years later, and she was great in that. And,
wow. Interesting. Yeah. That name sounds very familiar. Well, good for her. Good for you. Good for everybody.
Good for all of us.
Well, we did it, Richard. We made it through another season.
Yeah, man, we sure did. And it was just a great one to end on.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, we're not quite halfway there. We're going to start season 7.
And we still won't be halfway there.
We still won't be halfway there at the end of that season. But then at the halfway mark of the next season, then we'll be halfway there.
Dude, we're going to look like microwaved poop by then.
Well, we're right on schedule. We do about two a year. But it was great. It's great. It's great to keep going. They really left us on a cliffhanger, so I have no idea what's going to happen next. But
nor do I.
I have a funny feeling that Misha Castiel is going to right his ways.
Well, I think that character sticks around a bit, so we'll see.
I
but you guys also better stick around a bit because we got a lot more show to watch, a lot more reviews to give, a lot more beards to throw at you, and a lot more guests to have on the show. So thank you for sticking with us for 6 seasons thus far, and stay with us because season 7 is just around the corner and sure to be a doozy.
That's right. So
because Rob and I know nothing about it, and that's for sure.
Exactly. We're definitely in like foreign ground here. We have no idea.
Flying blind.
Yeah.
But wait, Rob, it's not like we're done for this season because we have our wrap-up episode.
Oh, yeah.
Let us not forget that we're going to gather with Steve and Trey. And we're going to grade these things and come up with our top 5. And all hands are on deck. No one gets a pass this year, Trey and Steve. So that's going to be fun. Much debate, to be sure,
for sure,
coming up in our next.
Or maybe no debate at all. I feel like it's a no-brainer. But yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know what's going to happen. Anybody's guess. But anyway, that's going to be a fun one.
Thanks, everybody. And we'll see you on the next one of this fun adventure. This episode of Supernatural features Jared Padalecki as Sam Winchester, Jensen Ackles as Dean Winchester, and Misha Collins as Castiel.
Guest stars include Jim Beaver, Mark Shepard, Sebastian Roche, Kim Johnston Ulrich, Erica Serra, and Lynette Ware.
Man Who Knew Too Much was written by Eric Kripke and directed by Robert Singer.
Editing by Anthony Pinker, music by Christopher Leonards.
The Boom was operated by Chris Glenn Jones.
Who also is a member of the band, the Impalas.
That's right, and we all know him affectionately as Chris Boom.
Exactly right. Executive produced by Robert Singer, Sarah Gamble, and Eric Kripke.
The episode featured the following songs: Carry On Wayward Son by Kansas and Play With Fire by the Rolling Stones.
That wasn't cheap.
No way.
This episode originally aired on May 20th, 2011.
This episode of Supernatural Then and Now was hosted and executive produced by Richard Spade Jr. and Rob Benedict.
Produced by Stephen Hine, written by Stephen Hine and Haida Holscher.
And edited and associate produced by Trey Booty.
What's up, Booty?
Music provided by Tim Wynn.
The episode was recorded with the help of Sonic Fuel Studios.
This podcast is from Story Mill Media.
Follow the podcast on Instagram and YouTube at SPN Then and Now.
And become a member of the podcast to get early access, chat rooms with other podcast fans, and video interviews at patreon.com/SPN Then and Now.
Trey, this is where you put in the music. I know it was you, Fredo. You broke my heart. You broke my heart. That was a good cappuccino, Joe.
Now we're just inside Rich's one-man show where he does
hello
all the Pacino
I
movies.
am Pacino. And it doesn't matter what Rob says on Twitter. We really do appreciate you.
What did I don't even go to Twitter.
Exactly. It's very telling. You're confusing me. Wait, why is he on the run from the cops?
Nobody knows. He doesn't even know.
Who?
Sam.
Okay. Guest stars include Jim Beaver, Mark Shepard, the French counterpart, the French doppelganger of Mark Shepard.
Story Mill Media.
You should listen to the GamesIndustry.biz microcast.
More people are playing games than ever before. They've never been more popular, and yet the business behind it is facing some real challenges and changes.
There's been tens of thousands of layoffs, hundreds of studio closures as major companies face rising costs and falling sales.
There's uncertainty around the future of game consoles.
There's legal and government intervention into how games are even being paid for.
The role of AI is changing how games are being made.
There's the impact of games like Fortnite and Roblox dominating everyone's time.
And then there's the desperate wait for Switch 2 and GTA 6, and that's just 2024.
Two leading business journalists with a combined 35 years of experience offer you a weekly guide through all of this and more.
I'm Christopher Dring, head of GamesIndustry.biz.
I'm James Batchelor, editor-in-chief of GamesIndustry.biz, and you can join us every Monday for the GamesIndustry.biz microcast.
The most important stories,
expert guests,
exclusive market data,
and all in less than 30 minutes.
Usually.
The GamesIndustry.biz microcast every Monday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Ladies and gentlemen.
What are you doing?
What do you mean?
Just keep it simple.
I'm making the promo.
Just keep it simple. Just say, hey, we're the Brav Bros. Two guys that talk about Bravo.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're the Brav Bros.
No.
Oh.
Dude, stop with the voice. Just keep it simple.
I've seen promos on TV, dude. This is how you get the fans engaged. This is how you get listeners. We're trying to get listeners here. If we just say, oh, we're two dudes that talk about Bravo, people are going to get tired of it already. We need some oomph.
All right, then fine. Let's try to do it with your voice.
Brav Bros.
Good job.